Are you ready for some cyberpunk action? It's time for an upgrade.
What's up, Misfits and Metalheads, to another episode of the Cutting Room Floor. Today, we have something pretty cool for you. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
We have music right here on YouTube, Spotify, and Bandcamp. Please go check it out and leave us some love. Today, we are talking about the movie Upgrade that came out in 2018, but recently just came to Netflix. We're gonna let you know what we think about this one. Rose, why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
All right. Well, we were already very big fans of this film. We saw it when it came out. But we were really excited to see that it came out on Netflix recently. And you know that your spooky besties are here to make sure that you know what's the best in streaming, what you have to see, and what you should maybe avoid. This is definitely a must see. And we're going to get right into it. First off, it is directed by master filmmaker and writer, somebody that you might have heard of. I don't know. Somebody that worked on, a little film called Saw. You know, maybe you heard of that film before. Yeah, that's right. This is Australian filmmaker Lee Whannell, who has made many, many films with his very, very good friend and schoolmate, James Wan. So he not only was responsible for Saw, but also Insidious, Dead Silence, the recent Invisible Man remake.
Dead Silence. I remember that. I just had a
maybe
flashback.
that's one we should jump back into. Anyways,
Is that the one
so
with the puppets?
yes,
And
it
the
is.
ghost?
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, this is an amazing filmmaker, and you can see everything in this film is so well done. Just the way that it's shot, the cinematography is super kinetic. Like, it follows the action and it moves in unusual ways.
Why don't you give them a little synopsis of what this movie is about?
So, Upgrade is about a quadriplegic man who ends up getting the titular upgrade, and this enables him to not only walk again, but to also settle a few debts, let's say. And he does this with the help of a rich billionaire inventor guy named Aaron Keane, who is a fan of his work, was a fan of his work before he became quadriplegic, because he was a person that worked on cars and stuff like that, vintage cars. It's super vintage in this world, where everything is very digital and everything is very upgraded and super high tech and everything. So these, an older car like a Firebird, which he's working on in the very beginning, it's something that's a super rare. So it's really interesting to see the contrast between the analog and the digital, because Gray Trace, our main character, the person I was talking about, he is definitely an old school analog kind of person living in a crazy digital world. So him and his wife become entangled in this situation with Aaron Keane, and all manner of stuff goes down.
Yeah,
things go down.
It gets messy.
In this thing. It gets really messy.
Real messy.
And if you want, you can see the trailer to see how awesome the action is. But I highly recommend just listen to our review, get your general idea of it, and then just jump into the movie. The more blind you are to it, the better it will be. It's super enjoyable. I really enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the cinematography. I am a huge fan of cyberpunk stuff. I love the upgrades, the tech, and you'll see people with like guns in their arms and stuff like that, and implants and all kinds of cool
crazy
stuff.
upgraded humans.
There's really cool stuff. And it's just really neat to see all of this stuff kind of brought to life, things that I've read about and stuff like that. And, before the Teslas were even out on the road, they've got basically the Tesla car, that's what people are driving in this futuristic world and stuff. Which is really cool. It's really well done. Also, another...
I really like how when the action starts taking over, when this upgrade with this like AI and everything
It's
that's
called
going
STEM.
on. It's called STEM. um, it's like the camera work changes a little bit too,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of it really lends to tell more of the story of like, oh, he's not doing all that on his own right now, because it's like even the camera's not moving normally anymore, and it
Yeah.
just the way they do it, it was just such a good job the way they did that with the action. It's very distinctive, when he's getting assistance in whatever, in movement, and in certain scenes when there's like fighting or whatever. And it's just a really cool way to emphasize that, you know it's not all human that's happening right now at
Yes.
this part,
I
because
agree.
even the camera work changes to kind of match like that aspect of it, and then when it kind of goes back to like him being fully in control, the camera like changes kind of back to like normal movie camera, like you'll see when you watch it. But it's just like a subtle thing that is really cool. Well, it's not that subtle, it's very obvious, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like an extra like on top of, to drive the point home, that I think works very well. I haven't seen anybody else do something
Yeah.
quite like that, where like something is happening, but we're also gonna, like, the camera moves different now that this thing is happening in like a movie.
Yeah.
It was just a really cool way to emphasize that point in the story. I'm
It's
super
it's
into it.
it's
Super into
super
it.
well done, and
Yeah.
it is complemented by really, really well done physical acting by our lead character, Gray Trace. Like I said, it's played by Logan Marshall Green. His physicality in this is really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he's having to play a quadriplegic, but then he's also having to play like somebody whose body is being controlled by something else. And it's super well done when you see him, like, in, after he has his accident or whatever, and he's walking around. Even though he's walking in this kind of like slightly stiff, awkward way that really just brings it home. And it's just like these little touches
Yeah. Right.
and attention to detail really help flesh out this story and really make you believe 100% in what's happening. And this guy's got, he's so low, when he is first, as anyone would be, anybody would be like this. But the way that he portrays it, the emotion or the lack thereof, the despair, is really impressive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, ooh. And he's also assisted by a great script that really hits home. There's a point later on where he's like, he's like, oh, I can make you walk again. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm not looking to start my life over. I'm looking for the off switch. It's like, oh, damn. Like, brutal, brutal, but it's like, that's what you sound like when you're in despair. And, he just really pulls it off in an incredible way. Also, there's, of course, a character that's like the police officer that's looking into his case. Her name is Officer Cortez, and she's played by Betty Gabriel, who you probably will recognize from Get Out. She was amazing in that. She was also in Unfriended, Dark Web, and Purge Election Year. So really, really amazing actor. She does a great job as this. She's a hardworking, diligent cop. But he's just like, why? We live in this world with drones, with all of this other stuff and this high tech stuff. What's going on? Why can't you solve this
Yeah.
case
They
of what
really.
happened to me? And it's like, it's really like, you see her anger at the system, but she's a person who also is very by the book.
They
And
really live and talk about like a surveillance state.
woo,
Like,
yeah,
oh
it
man,
is serious.
like that futuristic kind of
Yep,
Jetsons
yep,
kind of like,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
surveillance state. All right.
The whole world is really, really well done, and I really love all of the reminders throughout the film. The contrast of the analog versus the digital, of this person who loves to work with his hands, and then later on when he becomes quadriplegic, there's robot arms that are doing stuff for him, and he is not about that life. He hates it. He hates this world of, like, this reliance on this technology and stuff, which is, very, it's ironic, because then of course he is being assisted by all of this technology, and he can't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stand it, and you can tell, you can just feel it when you look at him, And I just thought that was super well done. It was really cool. And we also have a really, really awesome bad guy in here. His name is Fisk, and this is played by another amazing Aussie actor. His name is Benedict Hardy. He was also in a great movie, Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge, which we really enjoyed. Also in the Invisible Man remake. So these guys work together again at another time. He's really good as this like ex-military mercenary kind of really messed up dude. Just super messed up. And definitely suffering from some PTSD and stuff, and just a ruthless bad guy. And their fight later on is really impressive. There's some great fights in this. Great fight choreography. It's super fun.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, I don't want to spoil any of this story for you. It's a fantastic story. It's shot really well. Really interesting world that gets fleshed out. You feel like you're there. You feel also, this feels like it's really not too far from our actual future, which is scary and well done. You know what I mean? Because this was done in 2018, when this was released, and it's like it's very predictive of where we're heading. Unfortunately,
I think it was pretty obvious where we're kind of headed. So they definitely made a good call.
They did a really good job.
Yeah.
They did a really good job. So all that being said, Thorn Black, out of 5 chainsaws being the best, one chainsaw being abysmal.
I'm gonna give this a straight up 5 out of 5 chainsaws.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Absolutely love this movie personally from front to back. This is the second time that I'm watching, because I saw it in the theater, and then when it came back on Netflix, people were like, we have to rewatch that and then recommend that to people. I love the actors in here. I love the camera work in here.
Ooh,
they set the world building that they set in there. Like, I totally believe the world that they're living in the future, especially when they pull back and they kind of show the city and some of like the big futuristic buildings and everything. They did a really good job with the CG on that. It looks really smooth, really cool.
It looks so good.
Again, I know I said that I enjoyed the fights, but like really, the physical acting in here was fantastic, matched with the camera work. That's one thing that helps set this movie apart. A lot of movies can have some good physical acting, good fight scenes, right? But this has unique camera work. That's what I want to say
really
about it.
Stands out.
It's unique camera work to go with all the fighting and everything, which really helps it stand out even more on top of a great story and a great cast and great acting. So this is I don't even have to think about it.
Yep.
This is a straight up 5.
I will have to echo that, as I often do. We do digress on certain films. This ain't one of them, guys.
This is not one of them.
Not at all.
I just love. This is a great sci-fi movie.
Big old 5 chainsaws. I mean, I think I might even actually have enjoyed it even more watching it the second time, surprisingly.
Well, it's been a while.
I'm not a person that I usually, it's like, I'm not a person that rewatches things very often, but this was one that really got me, man. It was just right from the beginning until the end. It is got a great pace. It's a great story, fantastic actors, cyberpunk madness, which I'm about that life. I'm about that cyberpunk, and I just, again, that kinetic, like you said, like the kinetic camera work with the fight scenes. Oh man, and the kills. Woo! I can't even begin to talk about these. I literally just I was like, pause. We had to rewatch them.
Some of them was just like the fight is happening, but like when sometimes some things are just so sudden, just like, I really wasn't expecting it to go.
That's
where
for me, that's where it kind of crossed over into being okay to talk about as a horror thing, because oh my god, these the aftermath of these fights is bloody, graphic, and horrifying and visceral. Like, it's just like you will be absolutely flabbergasted right from the jump, right from the first one. You're gonna be like, oh my, like we rewound and rewatched every single one. That's how good they all were. It was great. It was just brutal and epic. So go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you waiting for? Get on it. You know.
You've got your homework for this weekend.
Yes, you do. You can thank us later. Leave us a little comment. Let us know what you think.
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Give this band some love. We putting a lot of
Please.
effort out, and
Definitely do.
we could use it. So, we'll see you next time. We are out.